Awesome. All right. Hello and good day. I am Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's SEO search optimization video, what I'd like to walk you through is some real world examples. It's a how to utilizing actual websites, real examples that will be actionable in order to help clean up messy links, how to spot problems inside of Search Console before they actually become real issues. On top of that, we'll do a brief walkthrough of GSC. We'll look at the link types, ways to identify some problems. On top of that, I'll show you a third-party tool that can help with your analysis, and then I'll walk you through the disavow tool. So I don't want to waste any time. Let's get into it. All right. So let's go ahead and just swap screens over like this, and I'll share with you a couple examples. All right. So first and foremost, welcome to Google Search Console. If you have never, ever, if you've never utilized Google Search Console, I highly suggest that you run out and go and get it. It's complimentary. It's free. It works most of the time. The data is pretty darn good. I mean, it's right from Google. Super helpful. It's complimentary. If you don't have it, go to Google and type Google Search Console. All right, just like this. What you'll look for is this right here, Google Search Console. You'll sign up. All you simply have to do is add easy and quick verification, either to DNS or to your homepage. It's simple, but we're not here for that. I'm here to showcase to you ways to identify some issues. All right. So I want to point out this is a company that I've worked with numerous times. I was looking for someone else, but this one showed up first. So here's the one that we'll utilize. All right. This is Tropical Skips. He offers skips. A skip is another word for like a dumpster, but in Australia. Great guy. With that being said, as we scroll down the page here, I want to point out some functionalities. All right. So first and foremost, we have our overview. We have our performance tab. All right. And this is definitely considered a webmaster tool. You operating and working on your website, you're now a webmaster, right? I never looked at it that way, but that's what it is. All right. Now, as we're looking at performance and URL inspection, I really want to get to a specific part of identifying an issue before it becomes an issue. I want you to take a look down at the bottom of the page here. All right. You'll see a tab that says links. Inside of this particular section, this is backlinks or link building. These are external votes that come in. All right. On top of that, Google inside of Search Console will also help you identify your internal linking. Now, internal linking is very important to tell Google or help Google understand what you deem to be important. All right. But what we want to look at right here is going to be external links. So that's links going out, and then top linking sites. So as we take a look at this particular element or this block, this widget within GSC, I want you to take a look at each of these websites. Now, in this particular instance, I don't see anything that's going to be out of the ordinary. However, if you start seeing a magnitude, all right, a bunch of sites, kind of like this, all right? So this is skipcompare.com.au. This is a directory. I know that this link shouldn't be, malicious in any type of way. However, if you're seeing a bunch of links coming into your website from the same site, and there's a lot of them, and you don't recognize it, this can potentially start to be an issue. Now, what I want to point out, and what you're not seeing here, is a piece or a part of a backlink, which is called anchor text. Anchor text is to give context to the actual hyperlink. What's a hyperlink? See this URL right here? This is an actual hyperlink. In order to help drive context to the actual link or to the vote coming to your website, business owners or linking websites are going to put anchor text. Okay. With that being said, if you're in competitive markets, or perhaps, who knows, maybe you started ranking really quickly, or there could be any type of reason. If you start getting links out of nowhere that you don't recognize, I want to walk through the process of how to use another third-party webmaster tool in order to identify an issue, right? Just like this. And on top of that, how to fix it. So let's walk through that now. All right. So inside of Search Console, we have, this is our first line defense. And what we walk through real quick here, just in case you're just joining me, this is a stream. We went to links and we're like, wait a minute, I'm seeing a bunch of links on my website. I didn't build them. They're showing up. They're all from the same website. We better take a deeper dive, right? This is the first line of defense. With that being said, all right, if you scroll down just a little bit, you'll have this. You have to click on it, but I want to utilize a third-party tool to really showcase this to you, all right? The third-party tool that we're going to utilize, and we're going to look at a different site, is going to be SEMrush, all right? Now, I want you to take a look at this particular anchor text. This is the anchor text tab under backlink analytics, all right? Now, come on back over here, all right? I want to point these pieces out to you, all right? Because I want you to completely understand the scope of anchor text and the context that it passes and why this can be an issue. But first, we need to understand the different types of anchor text, right? So let's take a look here. Visit website, www, view website. These types of anchor texts are what is called generic. They're not really passing much value. However, oftentimes directories, citations, PR, tons of different sites utilize these, all right? A link is a link and it's still passing value, but not as much value as one would like. With that said, I want to go ahead and show you a few more. We're going to scroll down our list here. As you can see here, if this actually contained the : / and also the other slashes within the parameters of the URL, this right here would be called a naked URL, non-derogatory. It's just what it's called, all right? As we keep going down the list here, we can see that here's another one, all right? And here is some of the SEOs. Perhaps maybe you're an SEO. This is some of our favorites, all right? Now, I want to showcase this to you. Carnes skip bins. This is an exact match. This particular key term, if we were to go to, I'll show you this, Carnes skip bins, all right? I think my guy's ranking number 1 or number 2. Let's take a look here. Okay. Hey, SERPs fluctuate. With that being said, we're page 1, number 4 at this time. What he's actually going for is skip bin higher Carnes. In any case, it's a partial. It contains the primary key term. You get the point here. You get the picture. It's in the title tag. It's in the H1. It's actually, a lot of those words are in our name. With that being said, this is what the page is optimized around. So the anchor text or the link that's being sent to me is hyper relevant, right? I'm trying to pass as much value as possible. With that being said, let's go back over here. We know that this is an exact match, all right? This here is a naked, and this is a generic. Then oftentimes you will start to see in different types of SERPs, there's what is called advanced anchoring, all right? You can call it whatever you'd like. You're not going to see this on a skip bin site. You generally see this in high competition markets like law or real estate in big cities where it's really hard to rank. You want to get as much bang for your buck, especially if you're buying links. Now, sometimes, and this is what I want to uncover with you, sometimes these links could be used just like we have a good thing. Sometimes these could be perceived as a bad thing, especially as volumes start to increase. I want to point this out to you, all right? Remember, we just went through generic, naked, all right? And we also talked about exact match. Now, I want to point out a little bit more of an advanced anchoring strategy, okay? Let's take a look here. As we take a look at these particular anchor texts, remember, we are inside of SEMrush, taking a good look at my friend Thomas Matthew. Thomas Matthew's been in business for a pretty long time, all right? On top of that, he does all of these services, I want to point out. But with that being said, take a look at the different anchor text, all right? These anchor texts are going to contain key terms that are hyper relevant to him. On top of that, sometimes you're going to stack or utilize advanced anchoring techniques in order to maximize value and alleviate utilizing or getting a penalization by over optimizing your anchor text. What do I mean by this? Well, if a primary key term is TV media wall cabinets, all right, a way to get more key terms in there or to make this link even more relevant is by adding location modifiers. So if you take a look here, you can see we have our TV wall and cabinets, TV wall units, two separate types of key terms. On top of that, two locations. I believe this is the county and or the state. On top of that, a neighborhood. You with me? We've maximized our anchor text. However, we're going to go through a few more, but I want to point out from beginning until end a way to identify with Webmaster tools, first line of defense, and then I'll walk you all the way through on how to fix a potential issue. All right. So as we're taking a look here at our advanced anchor text, we can see that we have quite a few of these types of links. Now, I want you to take a look over to the right-hand side here at this particular column. This is backlinks. Now, there's a massive difference between a referring domain and a backlink, all right? A referring domain is the initial vote. This is what actually matters. How many unique referring domains you have drastically can impact your overall performance. With that said, we can see that there are 193 unique domains that are utilizing this exact anchor text. But on top of that, there's 743 backlinks. So that means that these 193 sites used this term more than one time on the page as an anchor text. This could be an issue, right? Now, why is this? Because the primary reason is you're not maximizing value of a referring domain unless it's pointing to multiple pages. On top of that, overutilization of primary key terms inside of anchor text can lead to a penalty. Furthermore, all right, if you have a website where you have a primary service, all right, let's say that your primary service is actually doing kitchen cabinets or cabinetry, or maybe it's, I don't know, ceiling fans. If you have a primary service, but you have an overarching amount of anchor text coming in for secondaries, it can shift what Google thinks your website's about, or at least the pages that it's pointing to. You with me? So I want to point this out to you. Let's come on over here together. All right. I just want to give you a little bit more of an explanation. This way, if you see this, you can nip it in the bud pronto. All right. Again, stick with me. I'll walk through the entire process. Just bear with me here. My drawing skills might not be the best, but I'll try. All right. So I want to point this out. If you have a main website, all right. So you have a website. This is your homepage. We're going to call this home. All right. On your website, you actually do three different things. All right. You only do three individual services. Let's say, for instance, that you do kitchens, right? You do bathrooms. And on top of that, you do bedrooms. All right. We're just using this as an example. With that being said, as a secondary service or as an add-on or a second thought, right? We oftentimes will offer other services because sometimes it's an upsell for our customers, right? Or whatever the reason may be. With that said, you might have something where you're doing your primary service, which is bathroom, but then you have these secondary small services, right? I generally don't set up sites like this, but some business owners do. Now, with this being said, we have this page here that's going after bathrooms, all right? We have these sub-services that are, let's say it's TV, media, right? And I don't know, picture hanging, right? I'm leading to a point here. So our top level page, the page that's most important to us, we're optimized around bathroom and bathroom fixtures, bathroom renovation, we'll say. All right. But as our secondary services, we're doing TV, we're doing wall mounts, we might do installations. Who knows? There's endless possibilities. The problem with the anchor text and what we're uncovering together is this. All right. So we have our top level page that's hyper optimized. Okay. But let's just say, for instance, that we are building links to our bed page. All right. So this is all about bedroom renovations or bathroom renovations. In this case, it's bedroom renovation. But people are starting to build 1,000 anchor texts to this page that contain the word, okay, and then bath, okay? And then on top of that, let's throw a location, UK, all right? This is the anchor text. But wait a second. I thought you said that this was the bedroom page. Exactly. You see, when you're doing your analyzation or you're setting up your markers or you're watching certain identifiers, it's to the untrained eye. This isn't going to trigger a response. Why? I'm getting backlinks in. The backlinks aren't perceived as negative. They're not showing up as spammy. At the end of the day, they're probably not that harmful. In fact, some of them might actually be powerful. The problem or the rub here is that we are sending irrelevant anchor text from irrelevant category websites. Yes, they might be okay. They're not harmful. They're not spam sites. They're not malicious. They're not trying to install anything. But the relevance that I'm passing is not relevant at all. I cannot build authority. I cannot build trust. I cannot say that I am the most authoritative figure in this particular market, and the relevance, which, mind you, relevance equals rank, that's coming into the site is going to the wrong pages in high volumes with exact match anchor text. All right. If enough of this happens where I have mismatched anchor text in high volumes, especially exact match, this can start to drag down my primary pages, right? Because clearly this can't be the authority. They can't be trusted. How could they be the expert, right? We have irrelevant links coming in. And on top of that, we didn't mention the type or the category or the link graph of the backlink. And I hope that you're with me here because this can be massively impactful to your overall search performance. All right. So let's put a pin in this. We're going to come back, but I want to point out the next element that's massively impactful. Now, when you're in a particular industry, all right, you can see up here, every site does this. Even Google does this. The originator of classification of website is Google. 80% of Google's overall revenue is based upon ads, right? So inside of their ad platform, if you go and take a look, like we think search, Google's thinking ads, right? That being 80% of their overall business, they have taken it upon themselves to identify sites based on a magnitude of things. One of them is traffic and user avatar. The other piece is going to be the referring domains, the link graph, what links are connected in the link graph. This is how Google was built, right? So with that being said, Google started this. The tools, the Webmaster tools that I'm showcasing to you, this is SEMrush. I showed you Search Console. There's Majestic, there's Moz, there's Ahrefs, and I'm sure there's a bunch of others. With that being said, this category isn't specific to SEMrush. It's specific to Google. It matters to Google, so it matters to us and it matters to SEMrush. They've identified the primary category as construction and maintenance. Correct. When you take a look at your referring domains, I want to point this out to you. All right. When you're taking a look at your referring domains, there's what is called, or at least I call, your top 5 categories. All right. Categories are what votes, external votes. Am I inside of the link graph? Do I look like a winner or not? Do I have the same type of links? It doesn't have to be the exact same links, but am I in the link graph like my top competition? Yes or no? Am I getting links from the same link graph, from the same category? So when we take a look at our top 5 categories utilizing a Webmaster tool such as SEMrush, we come down here and we take a look at our categories: information technology, advertising and marketing, construction and maintenance, online services, retail, mass, and education. Okay. Now that you have walked through classification of link, let's go back to our example. All right. We know that the site has been identified as a construction and maintenance. And yes, there is a magnitude of these types of links coming in. All right. In order to rank inside of a category, they're going to have more than one type of link coming in, just like there's a bunch of different intents in order to serve websites, right? With that being said, I want to show this to you. All right. Let's go back to the issue at hand now. All right. We know that in order to be a winner, the primary category is construction and maintenance. Also furniture, online services, retail, and I think online. Okay. Now, let's look at our results. Remember, potentially malicious, potentially not. It could be any reason that this could happen, but it cannot happen to you or to anyone because we're going to be able to watch it, right? So here's what you're going to be watching for. So we see our 1,000 links that have came in. We take a look and our antennas haven't gone up because the anchor text is right and the sites don't look malicious. However, with more understanding now, a much more in-depth understanding of how Google works and how backlinks work and what a link graph is, we now know that, wait a second, the category of link that's coming in, even though it's from a decent site and even though the anchor text is relevant overall, right? It's not going to set off any alarms. It's not going to look crazy to you. It's not going to jump off the page. But when you take a deeper look, you can see that, wait a second, we have irrelevant anchor text going to the wrong pages. And on top of that, we can also identify that the category that's coming in is for, I'm just using this as an example, education. When I take a look at my leading top 10 or top 5 or top 3 competitors, their top 5 category of link that's coming in, none of them say education. So wait a second. Somebody has taken it upon themselves, all right, to, not necessarily on this site, but this kind of jumps off the page, but I want to point this out. So somebody has taken heavy exact match anchor text. Check. That's a ding right off the bat, right? Like that could potentially lead to a penalty. Check, ding. The next thing is they've built 700, so numerous on the same referring domains. This can be perceived as a link network. Ding, right? It's 2 strikes. The next thing is the category of link is not the right category. I'm not in the right link graph. So technically speaking, even if the website looks good and the content looks good, even if the title tag and the anchor text are hyper relevant, if it's the wrong category, in time, if there's a lot of this built, it's going to be detrimental to my overall performance. Why? Because I'm changing what Google thinks my website is about. If I change relevance is rank, if Google cannot identify or understand what my site is about, and remember, Google is built on understanding websites based upon other sites that are in the link graph or are linking to you and out external too, right? So when we take a look, we have 1,000 links, wrong page, wrong anchor text. On top of the wrong anchor text, it's entity rich, it's keyword rich. Ding, 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 that's 3, and they're in the wrong category. Then as you start to build over time and you start looking, you're like, wait a minute. They've done this 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4. It's like a song, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and more. What they're doing is slowly changing the relevance of your overall site. And they're doing it right in your face. So, shall we move forward? There's two things that you can do. See, I'm a firm believer in negative in, negative out, right? I'm not going to show you this. I'll tell you, and you can make your decision for yourself. One way to combat this is through what is called the HTA access file. All right. If you're utilizing WordPress, I believe what 40% or 60% of the web is. So you're probably utilizing WordPress or some type of system that you have access to an HTA access file or a file that you're going to serve, right? With that being said, you always have the ability to, it's not a 301, but it's like a 301, and you can send that link right back to where it came from. On top of that, you can block out what is called C classes of IP. Oftentimes, when you start to see this type of strategy, they'll utilize what is called a subdomain. And if you're not sure what a subdomain is, let me go ahead and just enlighten you since we're on a roll here. All right. If you see stuff like this is oftentimes unskilled spammers will do this type of thing. So we'll say it would be something like this: kitchen dot metric farm, I don't know, dot cn dot hk, right? It would be something like this. So when you take a look at it, it'll be this. All right. HTTPS : // All right. Now, the subdomain is this here. All right. So it will show up as a unique backlink, which means it's going to pass a unique anchor text, which means it's passing, even if it's a garbage website, even if it's a 0 DR or 0 authority, I'm still passing relevance through anchor. When done in high volumes, right, this can be a problem. See, these subdomains are easy to set up. There's softwares that do it, and each of these backlinks that are made on a subdomain, even though it only counts as one referring domain, with enough anchor text, I can change the relevance of the site that I'm pointing to. All right. With that said, this is a subdomain. Okay. Now, like I mentioned to you, there are ways to, well, there's 3 ways. All right. You can either, almost like a 301, you can figure it out for yourself, but you can send the link back. You can also do this by blocking out IP blocks or C class ranges. You can just send the link right back. That's not what I would do, right? That's fire with fire. And I think negative in, negative out. What I would do is I would take the reasonable approach, and we're going to walk through utilization of a Webmaster tool, an advanced Webmaster tool that is called the disavow tool. So let's go ahead and utilize that together now, and I'll walk you through how to create a disavow file. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to use our friend here. All right. And what we're going to do together is we're just going to take just a couple. So we're going to do an export. All right. And I'll walk you through the process of creating I'll walk you through the process of utilizing Webmaster tools to create a disavow file that you can then upload through Google Search Console, another Webmaster tool. All right. Did I say Webmaster tools enough yet? I was trying. I'm trying my hardest. All right. In any case, we're going to come on down here. We did a export. All right. And if you're utilizing this particular tool, which is called SEMrush, the export functionality is right here. If you're doing everything inside of Search Console, again, they will have a export functionality, which is right here. All right. So let's walk you through the process of creating the disavow file and how you can find the option to utilize this advanced functionality. All right, let's go ahead and do that together. So the very next step that we're going to do is we want to take a look, and I would recommend once every 2 weeks to 30 days. It's completely up to you. Generally, when we're doing page refreshes, right, this is a re-optimization of the page, the internal linking, which pages should we re-optimize or take away, or what should we add? We're just reanalyzing the website, right? That's what webmasters do. What we generally will do is we will just take a look at, hey, how's the backlink performance? What's indexing? What's not? Are we getting anything that's, what's out of the ordinary, right? So you can do it on any cycle that you would like. If you're in a high competition market or you've had issues in the past, I would recommend every 2 weeks to 30 days. But generally, realistically, we do it every 90 days when it's page refresh time, quarterly. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and move forward here. We are going to analyze and then develop our disavow file. All right. Very simple thing. But if you've never done it, I'll walk you through that now. All right. So let's go ahead and do this together. We are going to get our export, which is going to come to us in two separate formats. I believe both GSC and SEMrush, Ahrefs, I think all of them really. It's either going to be CSV or an Excel file. All right. So what we're going to do here is we will grab our file. All right. Once we grab our file here, we will bring it on into what is called Google Search, Google Drive. All right. Now you don't have to use Google Drive. You could use whatever you would like. Okay. I'm just talking while I'm clicking. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and bring up our file here. All right. Now what we want to do then is we want to take a look at our anchor text. Okay. And we want to make sure that we get the entire export. So I'm glad that we were able to do this together. My mistake. So let's make sure that we get the entire thing. So we want to go to backlinks. Once you're on your backlinks, then you want to go to export. All right. And we'll go to Excel. My mistake. All right. The reason for this is very simple. We want to make sure that we can get, oh, even better. Here's a text document. We want to make sure that we can get everything together. All right. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm not sure what this is, but that's cool. We're going to make this now. So we want to come over here to our file folders. Bear with me. We are going to drag this in. Once we have drug this in, we will pull it up. We're going to go ahead and click on it. It should open up inside of Google Sheets. I'm a big fan of Google Chrome. Now what we're looking at here is this is the authority score. All right. This is the source page. Okay. And then here's our target. Target means where the link is pointing to. All right. Now with that being said, we're going to come on over here. All right. Source title. This is fine. Take this here. We will delete this column. We can clean up this column. You can do this any way that you would like. But here's our source URL. We can delete. So now we have our page. And then we have our anchor text. Now we're looking for a specific type of anchor text, right? We're looking for stuff that's not pointing to the right pages. Now I'm not going to sit and do this because in this particular instance, we don't have an issue, but I was pointing out certain things. But what I do want to show you is how we can develop this file together. So what I like to do is don't leave any leniency, don't leave any openings. And what I mean by this is if you see a malicious site with malicious intent, even if it's not perceived malicious at a first glance. For instance, let's take a look at a page that's like this. So we have a bunch of these wacky looking websites, like I mentioned, subdomains, right? We take a look at these over here, and we can see that this is going to a short wardrobe page, low ceiling attic wardrobe, right? Short wardrobe. So this is anchor specific, even though they're stacking the anchor text, and it is pointing to the correct page. But for instance, this anchor text is wrong, and it's pointing to this page. Let's just say, right? Hypothetically, I'm saying this is wrong. It's pointing to this page. This page is about wardrobes, but this was going to say kitchen banister installs, right? Kitchens, London, right? Something like this. And however, when you look at all the other ones, you're like, wait a minute. 5 of them are completely wrong, but 5 of them are actually helping. And then on top of that, the authority score is a 13. It's not that bad. No. Don't leave any room. If you see something with malicious intent and you did not build it, it's out of there. So what I would highly recommend is you can grab your list like this, all right? And then there's lots of tools. I'm sure you might have some on your machine already if you have Apple or a PC, but let's just say you don't. You want a fast, easy way to sort through this. Here's what I would recommend. Come on over here to Google and you can search for a online tool, free, right? That's how you lead in. And what you're looking for is remove duplicate domains. All right. So here's what it is. So URL list cleaner tool. Perfect. We're going to go to it. Enter your URLs to clean. So this is perfect. It's going to take care of everything that we need. So first and foremost, what we want to do is we want to trim to root. Well, why do we want to do that, Chris? Because again, if we identify a malicious URL, it's out of there. I'm going to strike it down utilizing the disavow tool, or at least I'm going to say, hey, Google, take a look at this. If we'll talk about the next process, but let's keep looking here. Now that we can see here, we have a magnitude or a multiple of sites. Now, Yell's a good site. Again, there's nothing wrong here. I'm just utilizing this as an example and a walkthrough, okay? But as we're doing this, we're going to trim to root. Trimming to root just takes us down to the domain level because remember, we just want to get them out of there. The next step is let's remove the duplicate URLs. Now we have a fresh, clean list. The very next step that we want to go ahead and do is we want to take our list, all right? If these are all out of there, I mean, this particular site was building links like Family Handyman, Forbes, Jabra, Yell, The Kitchen, The Spruce. This guy's been doing some horrible link building. But with that being said, what we can do is we can grab our list. We're going to cut. We're going to head right back out to Google. Gee, I've never done this before. It's just so fluid, isn't it? Like, it's almost like I've done this 9,000 times. All right. The very next thing that we want to do is it's going to be free online tool, right? And what we want to do is add a word to a line. All right. What we're going to look at here, this one's fine. We're going to paste our original text. All of them work pretty similar. They do it for, ad bucks. So you're always going to be able to find an online tool, even if you don't find this one. In any case, we put our original text. The next step is going to be add text to the beginning. So what you want to do is you want to type domain : all right, just like this. And then let's get rid of this ad. There it is. Execute. All right. Now we put domain : we're going to do a copy. All right. And then what you want to do is you actually want to create a text document. You can name your text document whatever you would like. But for this particular example, we are going to save it as, all right, example disavow 111111111, right? Save. The very next step is we're going to need to be logged into our Google account, that we are also the owner or admin of our Google Search Console. All right. So make sure that you're inside the account that owns or operates your GSC account. All right. So we're going to look up Google Search Console. All right. Make sure that, find it, go to it, and make sure that you log in. The very next step is once you've identified that you're inside your account, maybe you only have one account. I have a bunch of accounts, so I always find myself doing this. So I shared it with you. The very next thing that we want to do is we're going to look up disavow tool. All right. You can do this from inside of GSC, but I want to give you a streamlined approach. All right. We hit enter. The very next thing that we want to do is you're going to come down here to this particular option here, disavow tool in Search Console. And this is the screen that's going to come up. Disavow links to your site. If you have a manual action, or if there's unnatural links, or if there's an issue that you've identified, and remember, just because a tool says, oh, this is a bad link, or just because, you know, your best friend Ralphie said that this is a bad link. You know, Google is the end decider, but the elements or the factors that I helped you identify together, anchor text, the amount of links or the amount of referring domains, the page that it's pointing to, and the category in which that link is coming from, these are the identifying markers. On top of that, another element to look at, all right, since we're going to, right, before we submit this, I want to make sure that, you know, there's a big yellow caution. Google doesn't usually do this, right? There's a giant yellow caution for a reason. So I just want to stress, you don't know it's helping or hurting, but if it's clearly identifiable that, hey, this is a problem, then I would like for you to proceed with your disavow. Let's point out really quick, though, before we do this together, let's point out just one more time what we're looking for. All right. So let's head on back over here. And again, we're going to utilize a third-party tool, a Webmaster tool, in order to come up with these equations. I'm just going to give you the factors quick. All right. First and foremost is referring domain. Is it a unique referring domain? Is it just one? Referring domains are the initial vote. Backlinks are, you can build 100 backlinks, but it's only one referring domain. All right. Did you build it or did someone else? If someone else built it, we have to take a look. Next, what we want to take a look at is we want to see how many backlinks are being built from a particular domain. Like we identified inside of GSC, when we come in and we take a look at something like this, bear with me here 1 second. Let's go to backlinks. All right. When we scroll down here, we can see, all right, we can see this right here. Look at this. Let's just say that it was this one, B2B. If B2B has built 1,000 links, backlinks, not referrings, did you build it? Yes or no? If there's more than one, what is the point? Unless it's pointing to multiple pages or you did it. So we're looking at the domain. We're then looking at how many links did it send me, right? The next element that we want to take a look at is this one right here, which is called external links. So if a domain has an authority score, again, this is not Google's metric, it's SEMrush's metric. They have an authority score of 48, but there is 225 external links on that page. You know, let's just say that each link going out counts for a point. Well, we're at a deficit. If there's 225 outbound links on that page, the possibility, the probability of that link being valuable is highly unlikely, right? It's already evaporated all of the link juice, or, you know, all the page rank is gone. It's gone, right? So with that being said, we want to look at overall backlinks, how many referring domains. The next thing is how many external links are on that page. Because if you're going through and there's not a problem of a bunch of links, but you're looking and you're like, it looks pretty good, but there's 12,000 external links on this page, all going to different sites that are probably not in the same category, you might want to think twice. All right. The next thing that we want to take a look at is going to be, well, what type of link is it? But this is less important than the actual category of link. Again, you need to identify who the primary winners are in your space. The next thing you need to identify is, well, what category, what link graph are they in? So when we do this, we click on this filter here, we go to our category, and we can see inside of SEMrush, all the tools do this. You can look down the list. Okay, the winners are in these categories. So anything that doesn't fall in these top 5, top 7 categories, it's technically not as relevant as it could be. Okay. So now we've identified links, referring domains, external links. And on top of that, we've also identified the actual category. This is one of the most important factors, category. The next element is the power of the link. How many referrings are pointing to that site? Then it's how many external links are on that site. Okay. I'm just giving you power now. Okay. Last but not least, all right, let me point this out to you. The anchor text of the link. All right. What does it say? Does what it says, is it pointing to a relevant page? Yay or nay? Right? Does it say cats, but it's pointing to a dog's page? You know, you have to identify this. So what I'm getting at is these are key factors, no matter who you ask. Right? The referring domain count, how powerful is it? What level is it at? What's the category? Where does it link from? Is it an image link? Is it a comment link? Is it UGC? Like there's a bunch of little factors to tell you and help you understand if this is actually a quality link, right? Just because a tool says it or your friend says it or this says it or I just don't like the name, no. But if you identify that it's a bad or a malicious link or if it's not helping propel your business to the top, it's out of there. So now that we've gone through these steps together, I want to take you back to the disavow tool. To catch you back up to speed, if you've just joined me, remember we've exported our list. I went to multiple different online tools in order to trim to root to get to the domain. We want the domain because I'm just going to block the whole domain. If I identify that it's junk, it's junk. And I don't want to block pages. Because they'll just keep building. I'm going to block the whole domain. All right. With that being said, we've created our list. After we created our list, we've appended domain : in front of each hyperlink, whether it's HTTPS or HTTP protocol. After that, we're going to name it. And then we're going to make sure that we're inside of our Google Search Console admin Google account. It's a lot of Googles. The next thing that we want to make sure that we're doing is after we've identified all this is we're going to select our property. Okay. The property being the website that you're uploading your disavow link to or list to. And sometimes if you've done this before, you're going to see it'll show up underneath like right here and it'll say, hey, here's your last disavow list. And it'll say a date. All right. What I would do is I would probably download that list, get those links, because if they were bad then, they're probably bad now. Just append them to your new list and then upload your brand new list. All right. And these are the steps from beginning until end to do SEO optimization by making sure that there's no bad backlinks pointing to your website, and it might not be easily identifiable at first glance. But once you have truly identified a malicious or bad link that's trying to shift relevance, this is one of the steps that you can take. On top of that, here is a quick little bonus. All right. How to block entire C class of IPs from linking to my website. Okay, I'm not going to give you a walkthrough on advanced white hat tactics, right? This is a way to just block. Like if you're noticing that it's all different websites or all different subdomains, but these spammers are relatively cheap, right? They're going to use the same IP range. Just block that range. All right. Be careful though that they're not using some type of CDN. Again, that's why I'm not giving you the full walkthrough because it's outside of the scope. But hey, if you have to, this is available. Block the whole C class. Another way to do it, I'll give you one more bonus. All right. Another way to do it is how to send how to block a backlink source in my HTA access file. All right, there's a name for it and then there's a procedure for it, but this should get you on the right track. There you go. Rewrite condition directive to check the referring domain, yada, yada. Then use a rewrite rule to send a response code like forbidden if the referring domain matches one of the blocked ones. All right. Again, this is another way you could just, it's kind of like a disavow, but you will host it on your own site. You would just say, hey, I'm not taking credit for that. There's also another way to just send it right back to them. Okay. I hope this has been helpful for you. My name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. Soon we'll be Gray Hat SEO. I talked to a bunch of people. They're like, why name it that? I think transparency is key. We're trying to win. If you want to win and you're into performance marketing, you could check out by the end of the year, Gray Hat SEO. We're doing performance marketing. That's what we do. All right. With that being said, if you have any questions, leave them below the video. This is a stream. I'll answer any final questions. But tonight, we've been waiting. Tonight is the new Knuckles movie, and I'm going to see it. Well, it's Sonic. Little Chris and I are going to see it pretty soon. So we gotta make this snappy. All right. So let's take a look here. All right. I'm actually on overtime. I should have been back already an hour ago. That's okay. Business before pleasure, and you never mix them. Never, never. All right, let's take a look here. Zane, my guy. What's up, Zane? Good to see you. What a great guy, man. I love the quality of the videos, the consistency. This guy. If you guys haven't seen Zane, he does Google Business Profile. I don't even need to tell you his channel because he ranks all over the place on YouTube. Just search for Google. He spanks me all over YouTube for YouTube video rankings, but he well deserved. He does a great job. If you search for Google Maps SEO, Google Business Profile, he's all over the place. And I think it's Zanenet Design. Okay, there you go. But there's the logo. Great guy. Again, performance marketing, he's definitely by the book. I'm sure he will bend a rule here or there, though, to win. But don't quote me on that. In any case, Thomas the Train. Thomas the Train says, ooh, look at that green. That's pretty cool. That's neat. All right, here's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to finish this off with some, hey, do you like how I put you like this? You see the outline? You like that, right? I changed the color. Fancy schmancy. All right, anyway. Sometimes I'll talk to people. You're not very, what's the word? It doesn't matter. Thomas the Train says, should authoritative outbound links be do follow? I think that's entirely up to the webmaster. If you're going to link to something from your website as the webmaster, why wouldn't it be do follow? See, the no follow and follow directive is from the webmaster to say, I either trust or I do not trust where I'm sending my visitors. If I'm sending someone off my trusted HTTPS website, it's your website, your baby, it's right. It's your, in a lot of, it's like your life. It's like a piece of your life, right? So I'm on my website. It's kind of like, would I send my son with somebody if I didn't trust them? Right? It's the same with your website. Like you have a website, I'm sending them off my website to a link that I placed, and then I'm going to have the audacity to write no follow. Hey, I'm going to send you here, but I don't trust you. I don't trust this person that much. See, I think you said authoritative link. So that means you placed it and you're pointing to a statistic or something that is going to add value to your customer or to your visitor, right? That's why you're sending them there. Why else would you do this? So I like to over-explain stuff. Thomas, I think I know who you are. I'm pretty confident, but I think I like to over-explain. But that's the answer. All right. If you're going to send them off, let's make sure it's do follow, or don't send the link. Now, with that said, if there's user generated or UGC content, right? Say you have a forum or a blog, or there's a section in which you'll allow the usage of hyperlinks. Those are all no follow. Why? Because it's been identified within the code that it's user generated and or it's a blog or a comment section or a forum, right? then I feel as though that's within the guidelines. And two, when you go and take a look at Google has a blog. Inside their blog, not on every post, but on some posts, there's capability to logged in users to leave comment. They're no following. They'll UGC a particular section inside of it's not a div, but they'll outline a section. This is UGC, and then they no follow any of the links if there are instances of links. All right. There you go. What's up, Chris? Johnny, good to see you, brother. South Carolina. I will do a much deeper dive now. Excellent section for your course. Something we all encounter. Good stuff. Yes, sir. My pleasure. Zaynette. Hello, Chris. Hello to you, good sir. Everything you have taught me has overcome such trivial stuff, but nice to have in my back pocket. Every tool matters in SEO. Everything you have taught me has overcome such, yes. Oh, all right. That's my call. I'm out of here. I'm going to bust through these questions. I got to run. I'm going to see Sonic. You're the best. Thank you very much. So are you. I appreciate your time. White hat tactics. Nice. Of course. Super white hat. I'm white hat. You didn't know? Wow. Loving the bonus tips, Chris. My pleasure. Yes. I'm more in the gray area. So yeah, that's that. The man. Thank you, sir. I try one of them. Hey, Chris from Khaled. Hello to you, kind sir. I like that picture. He is laughing on the floor. Okay, thank you. Is it normal to see a drop in impressions and clicks after changing schema type from organization to educational organization for an educational blog? That is a very particular question. But with this being said, wouldn't the hierarchy of schema, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not 100%, but wouldn't the hierarchy of schema include web page, website, you're marking up elements? Wouldn't the educational organization be a type of organization? So wouldn't it be organization that is a educational organization? And then you would name people, place, the map, and all of those details. If you're ever unsure of this type of thing, there is a hierarchy. This was taught to me by Clint Butler. This was in 2016. I saw him speak, and he was teaching me about schema. Advanced schema. I knew the basics. And he was the first person to point out to me, hey, you got all the schemas, but they're all jumbled up. There's actually a order, a hierarchy of importance, and this is the way that you do it. Kudos to you, Clinton. So the hierarchy, and if you go to schema.org, it will lay out the hierarchy. And I believe that the educational schema type is nested within organization. So both. Now, to address the second part of your question, that's highly unlikely, but you never know. Do you have events on your page? Is it a page that's getting cached or crawled that gets a lot of traffic? Is there video on that page? Sometimes there's elements, or, depending on your website, if you're getting a boatload of traffic, making a change can cause a dramatic effect temporarily, right? But in most cases, adding or taking away schema isn't going to really have that much impact. But there are some use cases that I've seen it cause trouble, right? So there you go. Or help. For instance, I have a gentleman, we run his maps. He's a pressure washing company. He's in Long Island. In any case, just recently we modified his homepage and we added schema. For 2 days, maybe a day, he went from number 47. We're not doing the web work, by the way, just maps. He went from 47 to position 2. And not even for the primary, it's the variation, power washing, as opposed to pressure. but then it dropped right back down, but I think it started ranking slightly higher. Anyway, I digress. Let's keep moving on. I don't think it's going to cause you problems, my friend. Zane is laughing. Excellent. I'm coming. I'm coming. Ah. Here, give me a going to see Sonic, baby. What? We've been waiting for this. Here's what's crazy. Fun fact. So I've never seen a toy rollout like the Sonic rollout. Generally, toys come long after a movie comes out. For instance, Paw Patrol toys will come out generally 2 to 4 weeks after the movie, right? And that's Blastmaster. Like they've been doing toys forever. When that Barbie movie came out, they didn't launch that toy line from that new movie. It was like 45 days in. You're probably wondering, Chris, how do you know these things? I watch these things. I'm a weird guy, right? I watch these types of things, and marketing things intrigue me. But in any case, this was a new type of marketing tactic. The last time I saw this marketing tactic done or what's the word, laid out like this was with Power Rangers. Huge success, right? So they rolled out the toy first, right? And then they laid out the full feature movie. Now, obviously, Sonic has movies and games, and he's a well-known character. I don't know if this would work with a new character, but the last time I saw it done like this was Power Rangers, and it was boom. Like they have the toys and the hats and the posters and everything from the movie, but the movie's not even out. Well done, Sonic. Well done. Anyway, moving on. Hey, Chris, reminding everyone about your SEOmastermind.org. It's a super value deal. Here I have another crazy deal. Here's what I did. All right. Can you guys see my screen? I know I have to go. But here, speaking of deals, please take a moment to check this out. All right. If you use mobile proxies or if you use any type of proxy, I promise you I have faster, better, quicker, cleaner. I rotate the proxies, the actual lead proxy, the SIM card. It's a hard SIM card. These aren't virtual or eSIMs. These are physical SIMs. All right. Physical SIMs get rotated every 30 to sometimes 60 days, depending on the ISP provider, right? Verizon, T-Mobile, or we have AT&T. I only have a few AT&Ts. I think I have 15 routers. Anyway, check out proxypixie.com. If you come on over to proxypixie.com, I didn't update this. But what I did update is I have 10 spots. We just added new hubs. I want to offset my cost. All right. I'm letting a couple of these go. Don't worry about these prices here. I didn't update it yet, but if you need dedicated mobile proxies, they're dedicated. They're fast. I assure you, faster than anything you've used. And what I can also guarantee, the cost to value ratio. Wait till you see this. Check this out. Dedicated, click on this. All right. I'm running a special right now. The next 10 that we offer, here's what I'll do. $45 a unit, right? But look at this. I'll give you another one for $25. And if you put the code in Pixie10, right? $30 a unit. $30 a unit for a dedicated. And like I'm getting a steady stream of 12 megabits per second. Depending on where you are located, I've seen 20 to 35 megabits per second. Steady. I'm just saying. This is a phenomenal deal. Here, let me see if this works too. Pixie 20. Let me see. All right. In any case, that's that. Check out this deal. Two for 30, or you could get one for 35, right? $30 a unit or one for 35. I don't know who's doing it this cheap. Not, and it's actually a true, I'm not rerouting it. It's a dedicated mobile proxy. I got 10 of them right now. I launched 20. I need to sell 10 to pay for my 10. I got 10 for sale. Okay. So let me know. Let me know. All right. Well, don't let me know. Log in and hopefully you need them. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's a semi pitch, a soft pitch, a softball. All right. All right. Trust or don't trust, no follow. It means you don't have trust. If you're using a no follow, that's a directive from the webmaster. And you're saying, hey, I don't trust where this is going. All right. Faith, family, and freedom. Nothing else matters. Have fun. He'll be graduating college in a blink of an eye. These times matter. Mad love and respect. Of course. No, I know. I always allocate time to little Chris. I learned my lesson with my daughter. At that present time in my life, like it was school and I was way more focused on dollars, way more than I am now. Family trumps money, in my opinion. But there's a difference. Like I'm 40, that was 20 years ago almost. So I feel you, my friend. I know exactly what you mean. Massive mind shift from 20 to 40. I'm pretty crazy now still, like with work and stuff, and my time, but I was way more dedicated to the quote unquote, grind, like it was, massive mistake. But lessons, and lessons. I love you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. If there's anything I could do for you, if you have further questions, ask below. I know the site is looking a little rough. I stopped paying for my server, so I just moved it over to a quick little staging site. Chris Palmer is still up. It's really just a menu page anyway. chrispalmer.org. It's just going to be a hub. I know, not the best picture is what I had sitting. But if you scroll down here, service portal, consulting, if there's a big, massive issue, text me. Don't call me, please. Jeez Louise. Send me a text. The probability of me getting back to you immediately is highly unlikely. But in the morning time when I go through, I'll hit you back. All right. If there's a big issue, I'll get to it. All right. I'll see you in the morning. Consulting, services, mastermind's open. I have a half off deal right now. I think, it's the end of the year. All right. I love you guys. I got to go. I'm going to see Sonic. See ya. Have a great day. Bye-bye.